Located at the confluence of the Mississippi and Ohio rivers, sits a small town that once boasted economic success and played a pivotal role in America's history. Cairo, Illinois stands as the southernmost town in Illinois and was a crucial hub for river trade and transportation in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Although this wasn't always the case. Before the Civil War, Cairo was a quiet, stunted port city with little going for it. As soon as the war started in 1861, Cairo's importance grew apparent, as the town was located at a strategic point on the Ohio River. When the war began, the Union Army built a fort in the town, claiming it as an important military and logistical hub. Following the war, the town's ports continued serving its economy in many ways, facilitating river travel as well as shipping. At one point, Cairo even had the third busiest post office in the entirety of the United States. So how did such a promising town fall into such a position where unemployment rates are twice as high as the national average? Well, much has happened since the end of the war that led to the town's decline, but we will cover more on that later. The extent of the abandonment in Cairo has affected not only the businesses and homes, but the town's necessities and services as well. In today's video, we will be taking you through it all, exploring not only the abandoned businesses and homes, but also entertainment venues, schools, and even a multi-story hospital. So come with us as we take you through the modern-day ghost town of Cairo, Illinois. What's going on, guys? Today, we are checking out the historic town of Cairo, Illinois. Initial thoughts on this town, just pulling in here right down the main street. There is so much abandonment here. This town was booming in the 1920s. The population was upwards of 15,000 people. But in the 80s, it dropped down to 6,000 people. And during the 2010 census, there was only 2,000 people left in this town. Like, just look behind me. There are buildings like this all over. And right there, this is the main street. And everything's cleared out. Right where I'm standing, there used to be buildings. And over the years, they went abandoned, collapsed, some of them were demolished, and now they're gone. These are the remains of one of the buildings that were here. As you can see, the one next to it's still standing, but this one is collapsed in the back. And it doesn't seem like they did any cleanup, they just kind of left it here. And now a lot of the places here are left in ruin. Cairo has had a tough history with housing its residents for years, and it's continued to this day. Many of the developments that once housed hundreds are now deemed unsafe and slated for demolition.
Residents are relocating from an affordable housing complex in Cairo.
And it's slated to be demolished because it's unsafe.
Because they saying this place is not safe.
Uprooting longtime residents like McNeil, who prioritizes his safety.
And they don't understand what they're doing to us. It's just so bad, it's unbearable, man. It's unbearable, sir. They're getting rid of us, our families, our people.
It's really unfortunate, but it's the reality that the people in this town are facing, and they have to live here and deal with it. There's still many beautiful parts of this town, and I'm hoping to show those in this video as well. Hopefully we can highlight some of those as we see them. I thought this was kind of cool. This is the old fire department, station number 1. So this was the main fire department that would have served the town back in the day, probably the 20s. Still here. Big door just locked up. Situated in a good spot. This was kind of the heart of the downtown. You can see the gate welcoming you in. I mean, just so many historic buildings. This one says 1878 above the door. Incredible. Built almost 150 years ago, and it's still standing to this day, even in this state.
These are two different buildings. Mm-hmm. If you can look between them right there. Because I thought this was like all one building, but then I saw that there was an opening, and then I looked and I was like, oh, it's collapsed. Mm-hmm. That used to go all the way out to the street.
Yep.
It was probably a business front, and now it is.
And there was most definitely buildings all right here, even where we're standing. They're all completely gone.
Yeah.
Crazy. So much of this place looks exactly like this. It's like basically ruins. Wow. And they're big buildings. They're not like small. They're built back in the 20s and 30s. I'm talking like almost 10-foot ceilings. Get that a little way in. I'm gonna find out where the rest of the group is, and then we'll probably go check out the inside of some of these buildings too. It's just remnants of the old building. To imagine a craftsman laid these tiles all the way back in the day, probably almost, if not more than 100 years ago. All throughout the building you could see where the footprint of it used to be. So many of them, so many tiles. And this is a common theme with Cairo. Walking down the downtown main streets, lots of mosaics and tiling on the floors, especially at the entrances of some of the establishments. For example, this one here, this would have been right outside of the window, more than likely. And then the wall would have been here, and the window would have stood, and this was like the walkway in. Hurts me a little bit to see history like this collapsed. Look at this main street, it's got all the lights still on. What did you find? Wow. By the way, I'm joined by Abandoned World Explorer today. I'm gonna put his link in the description.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice to meet you, brother. What is that?
Yeah, I know a lot about cars, but I don't really know a lot of American cars, so
Yeah,
I'll really help you with that.
it looks like a Cadillac to me.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Someone left their car in the back of this house. Look at that, it's completely overgrown. The vines are grabbing onto it. Crazy to think someone just parked this here one day and never came back for it, and it sat here for the past, I don't know, who knows how long. This place is crazy. I'm joined by Steve Ronan today. What do you think?
What's up, What
do you think of this place so far?
It's cool, man. I love ghost towns like this, and yeah, it's sick. I mean, we just got here, so I haven't really seen much, but from what I've been seeing, it's gonna be a really cool place.
Definitely. This is a really cool building. All of the, it looks like copper. The copper sheathing. Very, very decorative. Really nice decorative finishes on these buildings. It would be extremely interesting to see what this would have looked like back in the day during its prime in the 1920s and 30s. These streets must have been bustling. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and find some pictures from back in the day, and I'm gonna put them here in this video so you guys can see what this place used to look like as well.
With the rise of railroads, interstate highways, and air travel in the 20th century, river transportation lost its dominance in Cairo. Its economy, heavily reliant on river trade and shipping, began to stagnate. Businesses left and job opportunities dwindled. More recently, however, devastating floods have threatened Cairo, as it's the town with the lowest elevation in the state. Attempts to combat flooding have been made for decades, but in 2011, even the levee wall on the river could just barely handle it.
The Ohio River at Cairo is at a major flood stage right now, standing nearly 56 feet. Cairo is also sandwiched between the Ohio and Mississippi rivers.
The 2011 floods brought Cairo on the brink of disaster, but timely intervention spared the city from catastrophic flooding.
I wonder what's in here. This is inside one of the old either storefronts, or this possibly could have been where somebody lived. Look at this, look at all these gun magazines. You can tell what kind of town this is.
by all these. Damn, there's so many of them.
The level after this one looks like it could have been like, I don't know, a bar or something. It had like a little stage upstairs, and then there was like a little window with like a counter over it, and then there's a really cool architecture piece upstairs that you're gonna want to see.
This is an elevator in the center of the stairwell. Look at that. That's how big the elevators were back in the day.
And it sinks once you get close to it.
It sinks?
I feel it sink towards.
No. Wow, this is an old building, guys. Look at the tiling, it's so cool. Wow, what is that? Look at that ceiling.
Yeah, that's the architecture piece.
What?
Isn't that amazing?
That's like 80s it looks like. That's really cool. I wonder if we could see that cladding on this building. Oh yeah, you can. Make sure no one's coming, but I want to record it. There we go, look at that. That is so cool. It goes all the way up the face of it. Dang. This is the original, what would you call that?
Door frame,
Transom? But wow. Yeah, that looks sweet.
So it looks like someone sweeped it, to be honest.
I think someone did, yeah. Because where's all the paint chips? Look, the whole ceiling it fell. What? What the heck?
I don't know what that's about.
Someone sweep this place up. They kept it looking nice. I enjoy that. Good for them. It's like walking through a wasteland out here. It's just so crazy.
It's like apocalyptic.
What would you compare this to?
It's kind of like Gary.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is still a little cleaner than Gary is.
Yeah. There's not as many people out. In Gary, you'd see a lot of people, but we haven't seen like anyone walking down the street.
It's just cleaner. But it's probably because this place doesn't have as many people that Gary has.
Right.
Gary has a lot of people that still live there.
Check out these ceiling tiles too. So many little historic bits of these buildings that you can miss if you just walk by.
Look how that tree grew through the...
Dude, look at that.
Whoa. Is that growing inside?
It's growing in. That's growing in out. It literally knocked the wall.
Holy cow.
That tree wanted to get out.
This entire tree is inside of this building growing. That tree helped us out like 60 years ago.
It knew we were coming.
60 years ago to help us out. That's so funny.
There's a brick still in the tree.
Oh, it's like eating them, yeah. The bricks are still inside of the tree. It's literally eating away at this building. So incredible. Oh, this is sweet. Wow. So we just made it inside of this historic theater. It's called the Gem Theater and it's in Cairo. This is where the ticket booths would have been, right at the main lobby. I'm gonna put the date of when this place closed, and it had to have been at least 30 years ago because that tree growing in there is incredible. If you use your imagination, you can see how that is. Look at that. I think this is it.
There's a staircase right there.
Yeah, this goes up to it.
Alright, let's go take a look.
Oh, it's really shoddy though. Look at the walls.
They are a little creepy.
Look at how crunchy. That's metal. Crunchy metal.
Alright.
This is metal and it's just breaking like a potato chip.
Send it, let's go.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, wow.
They took all the seats out. Oh, look, it's wood. That is old. Really old construction. Wow. What do you think? Would you trust walking down to that?
I kind of want to, but there's literally a hole right there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm probably gonna pass on that.
Gotta get the shot though.
I don't want you to do it either.
I'm gonna go to this one. I'm not gonna go to that.
Oh my God.
Wow. This was a pretty sizable theater for the size of the town that it was in back in the day. Probably would have had a lot of shows going on, probably every weekend. And this is the backstage area. Wow. That's so cool. We're back on the main street now. And I noticed these are the old trolley tracks. They used to have a trolley system or train system that went down the center of the roads here back when they had horses and carriages on the dirt roads. I'm sure they were brick at one time as well, but currently this is a newer brick. This isn't the old original brick, but they laid this down, and when they pulled up the metal tracks, it looks like they filled it with just standard concrete. But just crazy to think that this is the town center. This was where it all was happening back in the day. And there's nothing. There's nobody here. Buildings are gone. And all that remains are the little pieces of history sprinkled in. I think it's so crazy. I cannot get over this. That this is the town center. I'll give you guys a little 360. There's nothing here. There's no one here. I haven't seen a car drive by in a few minutes.
Despite Cairo's importance in the Union's Civil War victory, the black community in Cairo faced intense discrimination and segregation in the middle of the 20th century. At the time, any efforts to push for equal rights were met with hostility. In the 1960s and 70s, civil rights boycotts and demonstrations challenged the town's white-dominated power structure. However, the response from many in the white community was violent and led to strong, intense unrest. The violence and economic boycotts exacerbated Cairo's decline as white business owners began closing businesses or simply leaving, while black residents were left with limited opportunities and resources. By the late 20th century, as the economy faltered and racial tensions continued, much of the population had already fled. Those with means relocated to other towns and cities, leaving behind a shrinking and impoverished population.
We're going to a convenience store right now. Gonna fuel up a little bit. We're getting super thirsty. It's 91 degrees outside, so it's a hot expedition we're on. Yeah, we're gonna grab something and then we'll get back to exploring. We know of a hospital in this town that's abandoned that we're gonna look at, and I think a church, right?
There's a church and a school, and then there was another really big building that I saw by the school.
Okay. We're now a little bit out of the downtown of Cairo, and we're looking for old houses, and there's one sitting alone on the street. Looks like a turn-of-the-century home, brick home. Really cool looking, but it's strange that there's nothing else around here. So we just found this, looks like an abandoned lot. I don't know if anyone owns this, but there's a bunch of abandoned vehicles here, including this Mustang GT.
It's unlocked, but it won't open.
It's unlocked?
Yeah. There's
Crazy.
no trans. It probably doesn't even have a motor in it. Oh no, it's empty.
Yeah, they probably robbed it out of it.
Oh, I mean, it's a chop shop, but probably.
Yeah. Ooh. That is super overgrown. That is cool looking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this house looks wicked good.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's beautiful.
That is cool.
Nice overgrown one.
So this house is crazy looking. But if you look right here, there's a camera facing straight down I don't know if that's old and somebody hit it, or if somebody in there has something wired up to that to kind of see what's going on outside. No clue, but we're not going to chance it. Doesn't even look like there's a way in. So beautiful house though. I really like those pillars. These streets are so barren. It's insane to see. Like, look at this house right here. Vines all the way to the roof. And then you look over here, you can't even tell, but there's a house. Oh my gosh, should we go in? I think we should. Whoa. Amazing staircase. I didn't bring my flashlight, so we'll stick to the light areas here. Oh guys, look at the hole. Big hole in the floor right there. So you gotta be careful. What do you think?
It's leaning like the other one's leaning.
It is, yeah.
The other one's tilted backwards.
That's so scary. Whoa. Ooh. Ooh.
Alright guys, you know I have the curiosity of a cat. I gotta go too.
Okay, this is kind of creepy. This is giving major haunted house vibes. And I don't usually get that. What is this? Look at the high chair. It's creepy. It's like the baby was looking out the window. Ooh. A little creepy, huh?
Yo, what is with the... What is this design in here?
It's like they just took paintbrush and they're like, I have an idea.
And the crutches.
The woodwork in here is really cool. I'm surprised it's not completely deteriorated. As well as this little staircase. Guys, look at this. There's a crush bottle outside. Look how old that is. What the heck? Why is that there? You think somebody threw this up here? However many years ago? Because it's stuck. I'm gonna leave it where I found it. That's kind of cool though. Get the lath and plaster. Ceiling and walls. That's from back in like the 1910s and 1920s.
You can see up
there. I know, you can see into the attic. That's very creepy. I say we get out of here before the whole floor collapses on us. Really cool historic house though. One of the many in Cairo. There is just not much here. Even this house here isn't lived in. And there's a motorcycle on the sidewalk. You see that? What's going on here? Just a motorcycle chilling with the cover on the sidewalk.
No one stole this.
No, yeah.
There's a flat tire, so this has been here for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. I'd love to know the story of that. Clearly in Cairo there has been a lot of history lost. And it's really unfortunate. But there are some places where history has been saved. One of them being this house here that we're about to walk by. This is an absolutely beautiful home. Unbelievable. They have like a garden, it looks like. Beautiful garden on the side of the house. Wow. Unbelievable. I would imagine that these houses probably lined these streets back in the day. That is amazing. As cool as that would be abandoned, I'd much rather see it in the state it's in right here.
Goodbye, Bennett. We'll miss you.
This is the old abandoned school here in Cairo. It says on the front, "Goodbye, Bennett. We will miss you." That is wild. currently out front of one of the very few schools in Cairo. And it's abandoned, and apparently...
What, the door's gonna wide open? Hey, welcome, come in. That's actually pretty wild though.
It's wide open.
No way, dude.
This is cool.
What the heck?
I like the color cane right there. I wonder if all the desks are here though. That's the real question. Oh, what is this? Paint? It's still wet though. Oh no, kinda.
Oh, that's weird.
And look at this. That's for like the kids would have stopped the,
No
the
way.
bus to come.
Yeah,
Stop.
What is this?
I like this.
Ew, what is that?
This school is so
Hey, this
clean.
kid's cool. This sticker was a pumpkin.
Ew, it is kind of wet, guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like someone could be here. Not only does it not look bad, there's no graffiti or nothing.
It doesn't even smell bad.
That's the other, yeah, you're right. Dude, look at it. Oh, that's the boiler room. Never mind. I was gonna say there's a lot of stuff still there.
Holy cow, this is clean.
This is real clean. High honor roll, third quarter, everything.
It's amazing to see the abandoned school, but to see inside of it, I did not expect to get in here. But the door, as you saw, it was wide open.
Yo, the t-shirts.
No way.
What do they have? T-shirts?
What? That is so cool.
Heritage Blues and Gospel Festival.
Wow. So, you think they're using this place for storage, or what do you think the deal
No,
is?
this place is mint, guys. Seriously. Even the cafeteria is like fire.
Yeah.
Bunch of broken glass, but like,
Wow.
other than that, no graffiti. It doesn't smell bad. It looks like they were using it for some sort of storage.
Fall festival fun.
1966 is when this school was built. Look at the natural decay. You can actually see the original brick of this building. It's deteriorating away, look. Wow.
What are you doing?
Wow, it's so fragile. It's really scary, actually.
I like the colors of this school. It's very cheery.
Yeah, the robin egg blue. Look at this, it was the emergency procedures. If there was a fire, you would go west toward Walnut Street, form lines on the sidewalk. And if there's a tornado, go to the first floor, kneel on the floor next to the wall, cover your head, stay clear of all windows. It's really crazy to see the school, the Cairo school. I already know how many comments I'm gonna get about the pronunciation of this town. Let me know in the comments what's right. Is it Cairo? Is it Cairo? Is it Cairo? I'm not sure. I'm not from here, so cut me a little slack. What on earth, guys? This is terrifying. Look at the size of this hornet. Look at the size of the thing.
That is huge.
Keep in mind, I am very tall, a very big person.
That is. All right, here. Show them compared to me.
Compared to your hand, put your hand by it. Oh my gosh.
Wow, that is.
That is a scary bug.
Why would you pick it up?
Holy crud.
There's another one over here.
That's gross.
This one's not as big.
That's it next to a quarter, guys. Huge. Bigger than a quarter.
Let me see.
That is so scary. I'm gonna keep this in case I want a gumball later. And this one is what, a black hornet? Same size.
What y'all?
We're just taking photos of the abandoned spots.
Oh, I thought y'all was like the ghost hunters or something.
Oh, no.
That's all I want.
You're good, bro.
Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, you too. So we're walking after the school. Notice this church here. And then we look across the street, and this abandoned church is just wide open. It says St. Joseph's School. So it looks like a church school. Oh, wow.
It's abandoned, just wide open.
Oh, wow.
This is so cool.
Whoa, look at all the trophies.
Oh, are you kidding me?
is nothing like the other one.
This may be one of the coolest gyms I've seen.
Look at that.
It's so intact. Guys, look at this mural up here.
It's so funny.
And this explains the Fighting Irish sign right there.
Right? Oh, guys, you know the rules, right? You see a piano in an abandoned place, you gotta try it. It works, guys, it works.
Holy moly.
Oh my.
I'm doing a TikTok in here for sure.
Man, they still got a lot left in here. Oh, is that a stage? This was like a performance stage. Probably a band room.
Did you see that cool little like bar stand over here?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Banquet hall. The sun is getting low and the day is coming to a close. But we have one more spot we had to check off while we were here. And that is this abandoned hospital. This is the Cairo Hospital. And it is very cool. It's a pretty big hospital for such a small town. It does make sense because the town was much bigger back when this hospital was built. Completely overgrown. Alright, we're heading inside right now.
Elevator.
Freaking elevator still here on this floor.
Decaying. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Wait, look at this.
Mm-mm. Stop messing around. That is terrifying.
That is so scary. Oh, look at this, guys.
No.
There's water underneath
Look
it.
at this.
There's water under there.
Oh my god.
That is so scary.
We just got onto the second floor of this hospital. And it is pretty gutted. It looks like there might be a lab over here. Got some caution tape.
What is that thing over there?
It is a sterilizer.
What? What is even that?
It sterilizes the tools.
Think it moves?
That's cool.
Whoa, that's a big door.
That's a cool thing to have in here.
Wow.
There must have been one there also, but it's gone. Yeah, it's like a little lab over here.
This place is so old it had a dumbwaiter, I think. Right? Wouldn't this have been the shaft? Oh my goodness. That's pretty creepy. The reason that's blocked, I'm gonna leave it blocked. Oh yeah, these were patient rooms. Yeah. They would probably have 2 beds in this room. You can see one light there and one light there. Actually pretty small considering, and they would have, oh look, 2 lockers. Do we trust that?
I don't know. It looks like the wall. It doesn't really look like the stairs.
Ooh. Look at that. I can't believe it's still in here. Usually they take the elevators out and scrap them and then, you know, cover up the entrances, but still here. Buttons are still here too. I hear someone. Oh, the exploring crew is here. Well, what did you think of Cairo?
This is a really cool place, and I'm really glad we got to finally come see everything.
We have been wanting to come here for probably years, right?
Yeah.
At least 3 or 4 years. Got here early in the day, as you can see now. The sun is setting, and what better spot to be than on top of an abandoned hospital? I think that's about the perfect way to wrap this video up.
Yeah.
So enjoyed our time here. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely drop a like. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Though Cairo's struggles are etched into its cracked bricks and weathered storefronts, the people of the town are hopeful of a new beginning.
Until then, Cairo will remain a symbol of the negative outcomes of inequality and the ever-progressing demands of the transportation industries. But Cairo also represents cycles of life, how communities rise, evolve, and sometimes fade, making space for new growth and opportunities.